thank you there in chat for pointing out that I was muted there. So that's not great, but we are here now. Svapidkut crosses the line. He now sets what is the benchmark of a 1:27.7. As we are here for the RFL Season 11 Japanese Grand Prix, where we are here for round 10 of the 16 round Season 11 Championship. And we will have a look to see who is potentially next to cross the line for a lap. You can see that Fins is on a lap, but he goes a little bit wide. Does the Season 10 champion. But he continues on for his lap. And yeah, as I was mentioning when I was muted, the top three in the championship are fairly close at this moment in time, and it looks to be an exciting end to this season in the championship. We have Tom Gorian leading the way on 154 points. Second position is Lord James 22. He is 20 points back on 133, and Vapidkut a further 1 point back on 100. Did I say Lord James was on? Lord James is on 134, Vapidkut's on 133, as for Fins now goes fastest with a 1:27.6. He sets that new benchmark time. And Scott, I think, is on a lap as well. He has, let me just get this correct. He won back in Portugal, I believe. Let me just get this fully correct. Yep, he won in Portugal and was on the podium in Bahrain and Jeddah as well. So let's see how the Ferrari man can do. As Tiercy Deaton puts in a very nice lap as well. He now goes fastest with also a 1:27.6, goes 6 thousandths quicker than S4 Fins, as Scott goes towards the start finish line now. He was doing a warm up lap, so that's probably should have noticed that, but now he starts what is going to be his flying lap, and we're going to go on board here. A very sort of technical first sector, where the driver skill is going to be a major factor here, as is with all of the corners, but particularly through the first sector. Heading under the track now and towards the hairpin. Vesper Jupiter pops in with a 1:27.5. He is now on provisional pole position in the Aston Martin. That is a good lap from him, as we remain on board with the car of Scott through the spoon curve and now up through the gears, heading towards 130R. 8th gear, foot flat to the floor, and now into the Casio chicane goes Scott. And how is this lap going to be? Gets very close to the wall on the inside there, and crosses the line, and he is now the man on provisional pole, and then Tom Gorian beats that straight away. And so it's Tom now provisional pole on with a 27.4, Scott with a 27.5. Only 12 thousandths between the two of them, so very close indeed there. And I believe Colonel Panic is on a flying lap, as he is yet to put a time on the board so far. But he is heading through the spoon curve. Maybe not quite hitting the apex there, but now heading down the back straight. We shall see how he fares in this qualifying lap time. Into the castle chicane, down the gears into second, using that curb as well, and across the line, and it's P3 for Cartel Panic in the Alpha Tauri, a 1:27.5, and it is very close there at the top of the field. So fresh. He's going to come across the line for a P16 on the medium tyres, interestingly enough. Let's see who is going to be on a lap. Rapids is improving on his as he approaches the spoon curve. Takes some nice curb on the first part of it, not quite on the second part, but he's gone through nicely. Heading down the back straight and through 130R, taking the curb as well into the Castle chicane, over the curb there, and where is this lap? I'm going to put the Mercedes driver. Stays close to the wall, but it's P4, another driver to go on to 1:27.5 as Lord James goes provisional pole now with a 27 flat, so goes nearly half a second quicker than his nearest rival so far. So Lord James ramping up the times now. Look to see who may be next across for a lap. Looks to be not anyone on a flying lap so far. But Finn's has just started one, so I take that back. Finn's starting a qualifying lap time. Currently sits P8 so far in the session, and will be looking to try and get himself further up the grid for the start. Through the first sector. Looks to be a decent lap so far. And now through the hairpin, down to the lower gears, and now up through the gears now. Stays towards the right hand of the circuit, approaching the spoon corner. Using all the curb in the middle of the corner and on exit as well. Now heads down the back straight and towards that flat out 130R corner. And now into the braking zone of the Casio chicane. Oh, and decides not to complete the lap with 4 minutes remaining in the session. Wants to get on to a fresh set of tyres for the end of the session. Optimo the only one on a flying lap at the moment. A lot of drivers making their preparations for the final run of the session. Dr. Mo heading down the back straight and won't be improving on his lap time this time around. And we shall see, does he dive into the pits here? Yes, he indeed does. Vesper Jupiter has just started his lap time into turn 1. Not an easy turn 1 and 2 complex here. And now through the left rights of the first sector and through the Dunlop curve. I'm going to go back on board a lot of curb on the first part of the deck, and nicely through the second part as well. Into the hairpin bend now. Down into second gear. And now up through the gears. Heading towards the spoon curve. A lot of curb in the middle and end of the curve there. But it is going to be 8th gear down the back straight and on to 130R corner. Now, braking zone for the Casio chicane. There's a lot of curb on the inside, and that's an invalidation for the Aston Martin driver, who goes on to the gravel and into the pits. I think Tiercy Deaton will be preparing on it. J25 is up by 2/10 on his previous time, getting a bit of traffic through Dunlop there, so that won't have been ideal. He has lost a little bit of time, I think. We'll go now on board with EVI in the Alfa Romeo, heading through the spoon curve, getting a lot of traffic again there as we approach the final minute of the session, heading towards the 130R corner. Traffic staying out the way on the inside there and into the Casio chicane. A lot of curb on the second part of it. Oh, a bit of a moment there on the exit curb and across the line, and it's going to be a marginal improvement, but nothing too substantial. And Lord James ever so slightly down on his time, but then through the second sector he is making up some more time now as he now approaches the Casio chicane. A slight moment on the exit, but across the start finish line, and it is a new fastest lap from the Haas driver, a 1:26.8 there. And Tom Gorian is about 2/10 up after the first sector as Wesco crosses the line for P5. Tiercy Deaton goes up to P2 with a 27.2, so a good lap from the McLaren there. Tom Gorian heading through the spoon curve now. Goes through nicely and up into 8th gear, heading now towards 130R. One more braking zone in this lap for Tom, and into the Casio chicane. Takes the curb and across for the line, taking the shortest route to the line, and it's up to P2. Not quite getting into 26 as Vapid Kut crosses the line for P3. Further behind it also on a lap time through the Casio chicane. How will the Ferrari driver do? And across the line, that's not quite an improvement there. And he's not on a lap. I don't think Lord James is either. So that is your qualifying session. Lord James, 22, takes pole position, with Tom Gorian also on the front row as well. Vapid will be P3 with Tiercy Deaton P4. And Scott rounding out the top 5. Okay, so there on screen is the starting grid. Lord James takes pole position with Tom going in alongside Vapidkut and Tiercy Deaton on the second row, with Scott and Colonel Panic on row 3 with Kezlesko and Vesper Jupiter. Behind them on row 4, row 5 is going to be S for Fins and Dr. Mo, who rounds out the top 10 with Fizikella in 11th, J25 is 12th with EBI 13th, Starcrax P14th, Clumby P15, So Fresh is P16, and Junior Korea rounding out the grid for this evening. So there we go. There is your qualifying session for the Japanese Grand Prix, and it is going to be a dry start to the race here. And now this gives us a moment to run through the full standings. So yeah, as mentioned previously, Tom Gordon leads the way currently with 154 points. Then Lord James is second on 134, with Vapidkut on 133. Then behind them it is Kezlesko on 81 points, with his teammate Tiercy Deaton in the other McLaren on 75 points. Scott is in 6th position on 70 points, and then we've got Simon Alonso on 53 with Colonel Panic on 49. Then it is WF1 Fizikella on 39 points, with SFR Fins, the reigning champion in RFL, rounding out the top 10 on 37 points. In 11th it is So Fresh, he's on 34 points, with Clumby on 28, Team Kirby on 26. And then we've got both Vesper Jupiter and Dr. Mo on 22 points, with Inns on 17, J25 is on 16, with Mac Attack on 10. Then we've got 3 divers on 9 points, that is Skullkiller, Dark Sabi and LK Tari. Then on 7 points it is EBI and myself, and rounding out the points scorers is Starcrax, who has a singular point. So that is your drivers' standings heading into this race. And we do quickly have the time to go and have a look at the constructors, where it is Haas in the lead on 195 points. 30 points back are McLaren on 165. Then it is Alpine on 163, with Mercedes 142. Then it's Ferrari on 104. Then it is AlphaTauri 82, Red Bull 56, Aston Martin 49, Alfa Romeo 44, and then Williams on 42 points. So there are the both standings fully updated for you. And yeah, we shouldn't have too much longer before the race gets underway. Okay, so welcome back everyone, and we are here for the RFL Japanese Grand Prix, where we are on round number 10 of 16 of this season 11 championship. And let's have a look at the tyre information. So we have one driver, that's Colonel Panic, on the hard tyres. On the hard tyres there we can see. Then we have two on the soft tyre, that is Clumpy in the Williams and So Fresh in the Ferrari. They have both gone on the softs. Everybody else has chosen the medium tyre. So we shall see if that is the strategy to go for. As we have a look at this formation lap. And it should be a very good race indeed. We've got 6 different teams representing the first 3 rows on the grid. And yeah, the build up is almost over, and we will have the Japanese Grand Prix underway very shortly indeed. Possible strategies, the game suggesting that mediums to hards would be favourable. So we shall see if that is indeed the case or not. And we do get a decent angle to start the race for, so that's very good indeed. Now the cars line up onto the grid here, and we will await the red lights to come on as the last of the cars park up into their grid slots, and the lights should come on now. Yes, they indeed do. It is 4 lights and 5 red lights, and the lights are out, and away we go for the start of the race. It has been a good start from Tom. He has been able to get alongside the Haas, and Tom takes the lead into turn 1. Very good start from the championship leader there. The Alpine driver getting into the lead of this Grand Prix off the start. And that's been a very good start indeed. As we've said, from Tom, who leads the way as we head through Dunlop curb for the first time in this race. Can Lord James react and stay with him? As we have through on board. Oh, there's a moment into the hairpin. Finn's almost losing it. And there's another moment into the hairpin we briefly saw further back. And it is a virtual safety car there. So we'll see. Has anyone got any sort of damages? Maybe. Yep, the Williams of Columbia without a front wing there. So I think we'll be seeing him into the pits. I would suggest. Is anyone else going to take that gamble? I don't think so. And we wait for the green flags to come back out again, as the virtual safety car has been deployed on this first lap heading into the second. Cars getting pretty close to each other, trying to use the delta as best they can. But it is, if a driver does go into the red, then they will get a drive-through penalty. As the virtual safety car remains out, but I think it's green flag racing now, and Scott is right behind the back of the McLaren of TRC Deton. Are they going to go side by side into the hairpin? Scott has a bit of a look, but it's not quite enough. And yeah, multiple cars in a little bit of a train here, as I think Crumby's had a bit of an issue at the back. And Scott's getting a little bit caught on the curb there, so may have lost a little bit of time there. But we head towards 130R. That's Carl Panic. He is tucked into that slipstream of Scott here, but he's not quite close enough to make a move as of yet. But can he line something up down the pit straight potentially, as the DRS indeed gets enabled, as Colonel Panic comes under pressure from Finns here, down into turn 1, and Finns gets the move, and he moves himself up to P6 of Junior Correa, makes a move for P12, moving himself up the grid from what was a start from the back. But yeah, nose to tail here between pretty much 4th position and Kozlesko making a move, as that's a Williams on the grass there. Dr. Mo able to keep the car steady for now. He's down into P10. Meanwhile, Finns we can see making a move on Scott now, and they are side by side as they head towards the spoon curve. Who is going to come out on top here? And it looks like Scott defends that P5. Oh, DRC Deton makes a bit of a mistake into spoon, and that's going to allow Scott to go side by side, but Clumby is out of the Grand Prix, the first retirement of the day. And it's going to be 3 wide. Is it going into 130R? Oh, Finn's going for the... Oh my goodness me. Oh, and Scott's made some contact, and he has gone off into the gravel. And fastest lap for Lord James, but there's pressure still behind, as now Colonel Panic's going to try and move, but it's going to be Lord James also taking the lead of the race here. And a lot of action going on. Lord James takes the lead away from Tom Gorian. Unfortunately, he did miss that, but there were other battles going on as well in this gaggle from P4 behind. And yeah, back we go for in the battle for the lead. It is nose to tail between Lord James and Tom Gorian. Are we going to see anyone in this group behind come under pressure? As Finns leads the group for now, and he is going to want to try and break that DRS window as Star gets ahead of J25. Meanwhile, Junior Korea gets up to P11 as well. Meanwhile, Tom Gorian closing up to the back of Lord James here. He's not going to go for it into the chicane, but he may well do so into turn 1 here as we go on board with the Alpine driver. He does look to have that straight line speed advantage with that DRS wide open, as Finns sets the fastest lap of the race so far, and Tom Gorian retakes the lead of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Deton and Kozlesko both in the McLaren trying to make some moves here. Occurring this time around, as J25 is now back ahead of Star for P13. And now we have a look once more at this group of cars. Vesper Jupiter onto the tail of it now. he is at the back of this train really, and we shall see whether anyone can make a move on each other here. Meanwhile, we have a look back up to the front here in this battle for the lead, and it may well be changing many times throughout this race if things stay as they have done so far. There's not going to be any moves into the chicane, but the Haas driver tucked up behind the back of that Alpine, and surely we're going to see the positions changing once more. Side by side go the leaders, and it's a change of lead once again. Lord James retakes the lead. Meanwhile, Scott and Kozlesko are side by side. Maybe some contact. Yes, there is contact, and Scott just about keeps the car together. As Dr. Mo overtakes Junior Correa, who has spun around in turn number 2. Unfortunately for him, he is now at the back of the field. Well, Lord James in the lead of this race once more, but Tom Gorian very much in his mirrors still here. And now we shall have a look to see as Fisichella is the first driver to get a penalty in this race. Colonel Panic trying to see if he can make a move on the McLaren of TRC Deaton, but for the moment the McLaren driver defends the position with Finn's just about making it to that 1 second gap between himself and Deaton. Now going back on board with Tom Gorian. Can he make the move this time around? Oh, it's a little bit of oversteer from the Haas of Lord James, and surely yet again we are going to see a change of lead once more down the pit straight, as we can see that Colonel Panic and TRC Deaton are also side by side. Colonel Panic makes the move, and Finns also makes the move too, as he gets his Alfa Romeo up into podium positions now, and ahead of Rapid now, as what was a train has turned into sort of groups of 2 or 3. Few gaps now starting to form. Oh, it's a moment there from Scott, but he's kept the car on the tarmac. As we now have a look once more back to the front. Lord James sitting within that DRS range, and he will hope to retake P1 at the end of this lap, as we have seen the leads swapping each lap for the last few, and I think we'll see it again change. But Lord James is fairly close, heading towards the chicane, but he's not going to go or into the chicane, as he will get the DRS. Heading down the pit straight as the 2 Red Bulls swapping position, but again it is going to be a change for the lead as Lord James takes the lead once more. Meanwhile, Scott gets himself back ahead of Kozlesko into turn 2 as VI heads into the pits in the Alfa Romeo. On board with J22, who's left a bit of gap for potentially his teammate to have a look at the inside of. Yeah, the Red Bulls nose to tail here as we look at the Degner corners. But now we go back to the front once more. Tom Gorian this time in P2. And Are we going to see the lead change once again here? Or at some point will one driver elect to keep the DRS? Yeah, I guess we'll find out shortly. As it is side by side for P3 as Rapid takes the position that Tom is still in second position behind. He's elected not to go for the overtake this time around. So interesting stuff on that one. And now Lord James has the lead for another lap here. And it is going to develop into a very interesting Grand Prix indeed, as we sort of see this, I suppose you can call it a sort of cat and mouse game between the two championship rivals, or two of them at least, and that's so fresh into the wall, and that is a safety car. Safety car has been deployed from this. I think a virtual safety car would have been suffice, but the full safety car has come out, and that does dramatically change things, as I think we're going to see drivers come into the pits now, as I think we were sort of approaching the pit window within a few laps from here, so I think we may see drivers come into the pits, and indeed we do. Oh, don't get that penalty, it could have been close there. But the car has been stopped in time. Tom Gorian by the position of his pit box. Pits first as they go into a set of cards. That is, yeah, I think everybody pretty much going on to hard tires except Carl Pack obviously started on the hard, so he's now on the mediums, and it's a question of can the mediums go to the end. Dr. Mo goes from, I think that was mediums to mediums, if I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm wrong on that, but yeah, so WF1 Fisichella takes the lead as he elects not to pit for the moment. Maybe that was due to him being very close indeed to his teammate on circuit, so he's thought maybe it's better to wait a lap. We'll see if he does indeed come into the pits. But yeah, I don't think there's been any overtakes in the pits, don't think. Yeah, first safety car of the Grand Prix, and we are on lap 10 of 27, so yeah, we will indeed find out shortly enough if WF1 Fisichella does indeed pit or not. I do strongly suspect he will, but he may elect to go for that track position. Doing a lot of tyre warming. So yeah, get a nice wee camera shot of the chicane and also the Dunlop curve as well. Yes, he does indeed come into the pits here. And it's on to set of the hard compound tyres. And so, yep, on to lap number 11. And I would suggest that the safety car would come in this lap, but yeah, maybe we'll see another couple of laps, but I think the safety car will come in this lap. So yeah, I think it is going to be possibly drivers going to the end of the Grand Prix on these tyres, and so we shall see how indeed the restart will go, and it should be some fascinating action as the Grand Prix will very shortly get back underway. Excuse me, that was a bit of an unexpected hiccup there, but yep, if it is indeed the safety car coming in this lap, then we will see the pace set by Lord James for the restart, and it will be intriguing to see whether he waits to go later or whether he goes for the restart earlier. And the safety car is indeed coming in, so we will be back under green flag conditions once we start lap 12. Lord James going at a very slow and steady pace into the chicane. Does he go out on the exit of it? Oh, he gets a big snap there. Tom right behind him. It's going to be side by side. Vapid is going to try and see if he can take advantage as well. Lord James keeps the lead. Meanwhile, Deton gets himself ahead of Colonel Panic. Scott also a little bit behind as well, looking to make some moves. As we go on board with Vapid having a look right behind, but Finns, he's managed to get a great run out of the Dunlop corner, and Finns gets himself up into P3. Nose to tail between the field, and we've had a relatively clean restart here. But it is Deton making the move for P5. And it is Deton who stays ahead for the moment. But is he going to come under any more pressure from behind? Obviously the adversary of Colonel Panic will need to try and make use of the medium tyres sooner rather than later. McLaren driver going to come under any sort of pressure here into the chicane. Oh, he's going to go for it. Does count. Oh, dearie me, that is contact. And that will probably be looked at when the race is concluded. Now, Scott makes the move. Driver. Scott is up into P5 now. Tom Gorian within half a second of the lead here. Finns also within half a second of the Alpine of Tom as well. Meanwhile, Vespa Jupiter is very close to that because Lesko. See any action into the European? Not on this occasion. So we have a look back towards the front quartet, who are all still within a second of each other. Oh, coming out of Spoon very wide from everyone coming out of the corner, so everyone making full use of the circuit in that particular part of it. But I would suspect there's going to be a lot of pressure here as Finns has a bit of a look into the chicane, but he thinks a little bit better of it. But it is going to be on board with Finns as he sets the new fastest lap of this race. Finns takes P2 now, as there is action for P13. ABI and Starcrack side by side, and So Fresh is out in the pits, so not ideal from him. Hopefully he can bounce back next time out. Meanwhile, Tongorian is now down into third position. Still very much in this though, and as we know, the DRS can work very well down the pit straight, and plenty laps on the Grand Prix to go still, so it is all still very much to play for here at Suzuka here for this Japanese Grand Prix. Have a look from the car of Lord James, but meanwhile Correa gets ahead of ABI, who's gone on to the gravel a bit there. That's going to allow J25 ahead, but Tom getting very close to Finns there, as we can see. Go on board now with the Alpine driver. We'll have a look to see if there's some action for P8 here. I suppose well having a look. Top 3 remains as you were for the moment. Now, in this particular group, it is Dayton ahead of Respirator and ahead of Doctor as well, who rounds out the top 10. And we have just ahead of that, we have Zalesko, Karapanic and Scott, who is trying to get back within that 1 second of Vapid Kut in P4. As behind J25 not having a great time with things. But back into the battle for the lead. Lord James trying to work as hard as he can to try and lose that 1 second window that Finns has within him. And it is going to be very close indeed as we head towards the chicane, and it's going to be on to the pit straight to start lap number 16. Tom has got a little bit closer to Finns this time around, but he has also got some DRS to play with as well. And again, it is as we were through the field on this occasion. However, Fisichella gets himself up ahead of EBI for P number 13. And a nice DRS move there for the Red Bull driver. Meanwhile, Vesper Jupiter trying to get himself close to that McLaren of TRC Deton, who are in a battle here for P8. But it is, once again, it's teetering on about that half second value, which isn't quite enough for Tom, who obviously has Finns ahead, who also is within DRS here. The question is, how good of an exit can Finns get here into the chicane if he wants to try and close up to the Haas of Lord James here. It's maybe a bit closer, is he, this time around? We shall have a look down the pit straight here once more. Yep, the Alfa Romeo of Finns is a bit closer, and it is side by side as Finns takes the lead of the race, but there's contact between them. I don't know if that has resulted in damage at all, but Tom Gorian is through. Lord James, maybe he does have damage, I don't know. because he's losing positions and he's dropping down the order. Down to P5 now. It does look like the Haas car has got some damage on it. It's not on the front wing, so maybe it's more a bodywork issue. Big moment there. Now drops down into P7. Just not got that turn in, it looks like. And Tom Gorian now. Is this his moment? He's on the tail of S4 Fins now. And it is going to be side by side for the lead of the race. Tom Gorian takes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. And that could be very big indeed in the championship. Lord James into the pits. No wing change, but he's changed onto the medium tyre. Well, Vapid's up to third place now, ahead of Scott in fourth, who's now within that DRS range. Eaton still with that Aston Martin of Rescue Jupiter just behind. Lord James retires from the Grand Prix in turn 1. Are we going to get any sort of safety car? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it indeed. However, SFR Fins, he is closing up to the back of the Alpine of Tom Gorian. And are we going to see another change for the lead here? Into the chicane we go. Fins lost a little bit of the time between the two of them, and resultantly doesn't quite have a chance to make the move. Meanwhile, Scott closing ever closer to that Mercedes of Vapid. He closes up towards the start marks. And meanwhile, on board here with Tom Gorian, who has the lead here at Suzuka. But he does have S4 Fins not too far behind. In third position, it is Vapidkut with Scott in fourth. The big story is that Lord James has retired from Grand Prix. He was second in the championship going into this round, 20 points back, but it looks like he's going to be a whole lot more behind now once this Grand Prix is finished. Meanwhile, are we going to see a move for P3 here? Yes, we are. Scott W takes that podium position as Dr. Mo heads into the pits. Miguel gets a 3-second time penalty. And it is on to set of the hards for the Williams driver. Meanwhile, Vapid staying within that second of Scott here, and Scott is closing up a little bit here to this battle for the lead. Fins, he's just about staying within that 1 second window as the Ferrari of Scott ever closing with Vapid just behind as well. So this Grand Prix not over yet as we head into the latter stages of it. And yeah, I don't think Fins is quite close enough to make a move this time around. Neither is Vapid Kut either. Best for Jupiter could be here on the back of Tier C Deton, but he's not quite able to go for the move this time around. As UBI pits and subsequently speeds in the pit lane as well. So not ideal there from the Alfa Romeo driver. He is very much keeping that Ferrari of Scott in his sights. He's going to be wanting to make use of that DRS from the pit straight at the end of this lap time. I didn't mean to say time there, but I said time, so that is a yellow flag. Who's that for? As Star gets engine Correa up for P9. I believe that was what the was. Well, Finn's getting close to the back of Tom Gorin here for the lead. As ABI gets a 3-second time penalty. But this time is Finn's going to be close enough here to make a move for the lead. He is closing up, and it is going to be side by side into turn 1, and Finn's takes the lead of this Japanese Grand Prix. As Scott comes under pressure from Vapid once again, but it's not quite enough to make a move. As we look further back in to the battle for P9 once again. As Tom staying very close to the back, but has a bit of a moment there in the first of the Degners. And someone's gone wide in the exit of Degner 2. That was potentially what the yellow flag was on the previous lap. But it is very much nose to tail for the lead here. Tom, he goes side by side with Fins, heading towards the spoon corner, and Tom retakes the lead here. But has he just given back the DRS to Fins when they get to the pit straight? On board with Tom now, and we can see the Alfa Romeo of Fins very close to the back of the Alpine of Tom. Using a lot of the entrance curve there. As we go on to lap 23 of the Grand Prix, are we going to see a change in lead? But we are going to see a change for P3. Vapid makes the move back into the podium positions, but it is nose to tail between the two. Vesper Jupiter side by side with Tier C Deton. That's the Martin driver getting up into P7 as his teammate Junior Correa pits in from the hard tyres. However, with 5 laps to go here, we have got a mighty battle for the lead and the podium as well. As Junior Correa goes on to the softs and is now into P14 as we go on board with Scott. He's close to that Mercedes of Vapid, but still the gap between P3 and 2 is still over a second. So is Finn's going to be close enough this time around? He needs to get a decent exit here. as we start lap 24 here. Could be close here. Tom trying to break that slipstream, but it is going to be as you were for the moment. Back on board with Scott here. Four laps to go here. And oh, that's a yellow flag, and TRC Deton is around. He's got himself back going. He's not lost any positions, but he's lost that chance to get P7. As we remain in that green flag racing. We go on board with the Alfa Romeo of Finn's. Tries to get as close as he can. Oh, and it's a bit of a look there from Finn's. And into the chicane. What is going to happen this time around? Finn's here, and it is going to be an overtake for the lead here. Finn's retakes the lead here as we go on to 3 laps to go. But Tom very close behind indeed. He's not going to give up without a fight here. He's going to want to retake that lead. And there is no here for the lead. Not quite any space for Tom to make the move. Rapid has close to within a second of Tom. So very interesting indeed now. Junior Korea sets the fastest lap of the race. And it is going to be the top 4 all within DRS of each other here. And it's going to be a very interesting conclusion to this Grand Prix. On board from the car of S for Finn's. Look back towards Tom Goring, who is ever closer to that Alfa car. Is it going to be side by side into the chicane? Finn's decides that he wants the DRS down the pit straight here, but is he going to come under pressure from Vapid here? We shall see. It's going to be nose to tail for the podium positions. Finn's retakes the lead of the Grand Prix with 2 laps now to go. Dr. Mo gets ahead of Fizzykel, and there's a bit of a 3-car battle for P9 here. As there is a flag at the back. It's going to be a move into turn 1 here. Not quite. Oh, but there is now. At the exit of the corner. As Junior Korea sets another fastest lap there. And it is a 3-second penalty for TRC Deton. But now, how are things going to play out this time around in terms of getting the DRS? Are we going to see things give Tom the lead into the chicane, or is Tom going to be wise to that tactic this time around? As we approach the chicane for the penultimate time in this Grand Prix, and this race is very much still in the balance here, heading down. Oh, and it's side by side for P3. And Tom is also going to try and make a move as well into turn 1, and Tom Goring takes the lead. And Scott's in P. Oh, there's contact between Finn's and Tom. And Scott takes the lead with Vapid in second. And it is absolute drama here. Colonel Panic now makes it a quintet. I think that's the right word for 5 drivers. But it's now 5 in this group. With Colonel Panic on the mediums, he could make up a position or 2 on this final lap if he takes the correct lines. Oh, he's going to go up for a move on the inside into the hairpin. I think there may have been a little bit of contact there. And Tom Gorian is down into P5. I think there may be a few choice words between the drivers here. But it is Vapid in second position now. Oh, and it's going to be side by side. Tom Gorian is going to take back P4. Vince also takes P2 away from Vapid. And so it's going to be Scott to come round onto the final corner. And it's going to be a victory at the Japanese Grand Prix for Scott, with S4 Finns second, Vapid Coot third, and Tom Gorian is down to 4th with Colonel Panic finishing 5th, because Lesko is 6th with Vesper Jupiter in 7th, and it's going to be Tier C Deton in P8 as he crosses the line. Dr. Mope, he is not under too much pressure for P9. Stars P10, Physical P11, Junior Correa is going to be P12, J25 13th, and EBI the last of the finishers in P14. So, an absolutely dramatic ending to this Japanese Grand Prix, where Scott takes his second victory this season, and Finns gets the driver of the day from the game. But yeah, that was a dramatic ending there. And it's yep, already we're seeing some stewards' inquiries are going to be happening, which is not unsurprising. And when this eventually loads, we will see the podium. There we go. Scott levitates in that Ferrari overall, and he takes the trophy for P1. So Ferrari getting the victory with Scott. And the champagne goes flying into the air. And there is your Japanese Grand Prix. Please load in before the timer goes out. Oh no. Please load in. No. No. Come on. Oh. We're not going to get to see the... Oh. We saw it very briefly. And yeah. So, all that's left for me to say is thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all for next week's Grand Prix, which is at the Abu Dhabi circuit. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and see you next time. Goodbye.